Hi, gang, it's Adam.
And Patrick.
Coming up on today's episode, we share how you can help those in need during the COVID-19 pandemic. We cover the latest Disney news and welcome our friends Paul and Bart to the podcast to talk about their recent trip to Walt Disney World. As always, we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Patrick Cooter Kozicki.
Cooter? That's suggestive.
It's down home.
Okay. Wow.
It's folksy.
It's very backwoods. Adam, antibacterial, Hummel.
I don't get it.
Oh, nope.
I don't get it.
Too topical.
Yeah. How are you?
Here's what I'll say, Adam.
Yeah.
It is such a delight to see someone's face in person.
Are you happy it's mine? Or
I need you to back up 3 to 4 feet, but it is great to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you.
It's great to see anybody.
Did you feel at all like I was invading your personal space when I entered your home and immediately shot a thermometer gun at you?
No, I don't know if you noticed, but I have a scanner around my door.
Yes.
You wouldn't have been able to enter the house.
Yeah, the cavity search was weird, though. I don't think that was necessary.
Well, wasn't it?
Oh.
For different reasons. For different reasons.
How are you coping? What's going on? I mean, are you doing okay? That's a lot to throw at you, but...
That's a lot.
That's the world we live in now.
I wasn't expecting that question.
You're working from home, right?
I'm working from home, working remotely, as the kids say these days. I'm self-quarantined. Things are going okay.
Good.
Yeah. As an introvert, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well...
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I'm introverted for the most part as well. So it's like, this is a Tuesday.
We've been socially distant for many years. Except from each other on the weekly basis.
That's right.
That's about
right.
it. So.
We are the only other people we see other than our significant others.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, dear.
How are you? How are you and Matthew doing?
I'm doing well. He's doing well, too. He's working full-time from home now.
Yeah.
And he's seeming to like it, although he is an extrovert.
What?
So, yeah. So he's finding it a little bit more challenging to not have that daily contact with his coworkers.
My texts from him have grown exponentially.
I bet.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah. And I am kind of working from home. I'm kind of on and off. My office right now, which is normally full of people, has about 3 people in it. And I'm in my own office, so I'm able to kind of go in there and close the door.
Yeah, you've got sort of an airtight chamber that you've established years ago.
Yeah. And then I take off all my clothes and just rub my body with hand sanitizer.
It's your panic room, really. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an odd time to be alive, but here we are.
It's a great time to be alive, though.
You're right.
Let's
You're
be very clear.
It's a great time to be alive.
Oh. We should say, let's just get it out of the way now that we are going to be as positive as we possibly can on this podcast.
Yeah.
We have things to discuss, obviously. We can't just ignore the elephant in the room.
Right.
Whose name is Corona. Strangely. But
where did you get that elephant?
Yeah. Listen, I have a sanctuary in my home now. That's my new hobby. Is elephant sanctuary.
Save the animals.
No, but we are going to remain here as long as we can. Yeah. We will switch to phone conversations if we need to.
Oh, yeah.
But our goal is to keep all of you Tweedledees out there entertained on the weekly. Maybe more. Who knows?
Really delivering that high-quality content.
That's right.
You've come to expect from us.
No one has expected from us.
Oh, it's so nice to talk to a person.
I know. That was genuine. It's true.
Sincerity for the first time.
The first time.
Ever on
That's what you're going to get from now on is sincerity.
People are turning off. They're like, unsubscribe.
Yeah, these guys.
It's not what I'm here for. Well, Patrick, let's just dive right into the episode.
Great.
As if everything was normal. And why shouldn't it be? We have a brand new listener, Patrick.
We do.
We need to welcome a new Tweedledee named Antika Muskin.
Oh.
Many of you out there may know his work.
Okay.
He actually creates those hilarious portraits of Disney princesses.
Yes.
Where like they're opening their phone from the wrong angle and their faces are all scrunched up. And so talented, so hilarious. So we need to welcome Antika to Gaze to the D.
On Instagram with the same name, right?
That's right. You can find him on Instagram at Antika Muskin.
Will you spell that for our Tweedledees at home?
I will. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. It is ANDHIKAMUSKIN.
Super, super hilarious and talented.
So funny. Yeah.
I love it. Well, speaking of new, Adam, we have a new Patreon member to welcome to the family.
A new Patreon member.
In these times, I got to tell you, what a treat.
Yes.
To open that email.
Absolutely.
Blair is our new Patreon family member. Thank you so much, Blair. That is so generous and kind of you.
Blair, you take the good, you take the bad. You take them both, and there you have.
Those are just the facts of life, Adam. The facts of life.
What an appropriate song for this day and age.
It's true. It's true. For those who don't know, we, of course, have a Patreon page where for as little as $1 a month, you can donate into Gaze Do the D, and we will give you extra content in the form currently of new episodes exclusive to our Patreon members called Gaze Do the D Raw and Uncut.
Raw and uncut.
It's never not creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we should maybe record one tonight if we can.
Oh, we should.
I like this.
How many cocktails can we throw down our throats and then record?
Well, I'm six deep.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's a way of disinfecting yourself.
I've been 6 deep for the past 5 days, though, Adam. It's just a new way of life.
Oh, Dan must be thrilled.
He doesn't know. He's knocked out.
Oh, it's the same. 6 the same. Okay, great.
So thank you, Blair. Thank you to all of our Tweedledees who are now Patreon members. We really appreciate it. All of the money goes directly into the podcast for prizes for you guys. So it goes right back to you, or it goes to general upkeep for our podcast.
That's absolutely correct, Patrick. So well said.
Thank you so much. We should maybe tell them where they can go to be a Patreon family member, Adam, shouldn't we?
I'll tell them where they can go.
Tell them.
No, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, I never get to do it.
I know. I'm going to see if you know.
All right. Well, if you want to become a patron of Gaze Do the D, you can visit our website at gazedothed.com. And in the top ribbon of the website, there's a little donate button. And if you click that, it will take you to our Patreon page.
Not only was that a good job, Adam, that was a better job than I usually do.
Yeah.
You got very descriptive with the ribbon at the top. I just go, find the donate button. Just find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did do a good job.
You're hired.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to take a nap now.
Moving on, Patrick, let's talk about some feedback we received on last week's episode.
Yes.
For those that don't know, last week we had a feature segment called Oh No We Disn't, which was about attractions, shows, restaurants that Patrick and I had not yet experienced in Walt Disney World.
We shamed ourselves.
Shame.
We hung our dirty laundry for all to see.
Shame of fools. We heard from Andy, who you can find on Instagram at AndyJHeath73. Andy said, "Can't believe you still haven't been to Tom Sawyer Island!" Exclamation point. That's a lot of shade, Andy.
It's true.
It's a lot of shade for this early in the episode. Andy goes on to say, "It's a really unexpected fun break from the park. There's a floating rope bridge, which is kind of cool. And also the caves are surprisingly fun. I'm not really selling it, but you should at least go once. I've probably been there 3 times in my dozen or so visits."
Interesting.
We know we need to go.
I know, it's true. Here's the thing. I have 2 things to say about this, Adam.
Yeah.
Andy, is your phone broken? Why are you not sending us voice memos and or videos anymore? I'm concerned. I need more information. Clear that up for us.
Yeah.
Also, our new listener from last week, Chris, Magically Spoopy, on Instagram, he and I were chatting, and he said, fun fact, the paintbrushes are actually back now on Tom Sawyer Island, but you don't get anything beyond a certificate if you find one.
No one's going to touch those paintbrushes.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
If you find one and report it, then you get a certificate. And then a hazmat team comes and picks it up and puts it in one of those nuclear disposal bins.
It's like in Monsters, Inc.
It's exactly like that.
Oh, I didn't even realize our next comment is from Christopher on Instagram, Magically Spoopy. What a good segue.
Read the notes next time. That's my advice to you. Just read the notes. They're there the whole week.
I can't be bothered. I have a lot going on right now when I'm working from home.
Yep.
I have a lot of games to get through.
So much Netflix.
And episodes of X-Men, the cartoon series.
You know, I didn't even ask you, are you like a sit on the couch with your laptop, or are you going to sit at a table with your laptop, or do you move around during the day?
Well, I'm concerned you haven't noticed the change in my basement right now, Adam.
Is there a desk down here?
There was a desk down here, but it's not here anymore. It's upstairs in my new office. I built an office for myself.
Oh, that's so smart, Patrick.
And expanded my gymnasium.
Oh, look at that.
In the basement.
You'll never need to leave.
I'll never need to leave my home. I never did before. Let's move on. So Christopher says, oh, no, I didn't ever meet Gaston. Do I have to turn in my gay card?
That's a good question. Does he?
Well, do you still fantasize about Gaston?
That's a great point.
I guess that's the qualifier here.
Have you met Gaston, Patrick?
I have, but I don't have any pictures of it.
I did once, actually with our guests tonight, Paul and Bart.
Oh, right.
And he had us do a flexing contest. And I was flexing in more places than 2.
Oh, dear. You were straining in more places than 2.
Right, 2 arms.
Okay.
Did that make sense at all?
We need some restraints for that comment.
Listen, Gaston can be a very hot meet and greet.
Yeah, fun fact, sometimes the Gaston doesn't need the padded muscles because he's that strong and muscly in real life.
In fact, the last time I saw the Beauty and the Beast stage show at Hollywood Studios...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The Gaston was au naturel.
And you can tell, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We also heard from Rochelle. You can find Rochelle on Instagram at Sea Salt and Lemon. Rochelle said, I've never been on Prince Charming's Regal Carousel or to any of the princess meet and greets. The line for the first is always too intense, and the interaction for the face-to-face meets are so intimidating.
Interesting.
That's a great point. I think a lot of people really struggle with face meet and greets.
It's true.
And I don't know the way around it other than to just kind of dive into it and have fun.
I think that's the way to go. Just sort of let it happen. It's hard not to be awkward. I totally get that.
Sure.
But they will do the work for you if you just get in there.
Going back to our episode where we had Kristen Podbelski on, who is a friend of Rapunzel and Snow White and Belle.
We must have her back.
We must. She was saying that the characters really love it when you kind of initiate a conversation or mention something from the films to kind of start off that interaction.
Yes, just say anything at all. Well, not anything at all. Let's be clear. Say anything appropriate at all. But if you are nervous, it's fine. They can read you. They're all amazing at their jobs, and they will make you feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
You don't have to make them feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Moving on, we have Derek on Instagram, boy who has everything. Derek says, I've also never been in the Hall of Presidents. Thank you, Derek.
You guys.
Thanks for the support.
2 peas in a pod.
In a non-presidential pod.
We also heard from Adrian. You can find Adrian on Instagram at DisneyXAdrian. Adrian is actually a cast member, and he was commenting on my mention of Star Wars Launch Bay in last week's episode. He says, I was trained at Launch Bay last week. Meet and greets are Chewie, Vader, and BB-8. Stormtroopers roam around during the dessert party, which is worth the money, in my opinion, because unlimited drinks. But I was told the Jawas went back to their home planet. Hope this helps. Also, Tom Sawyer Island is terrifying. Children everywhere and no alcohol in sight.
Question.
Yeah.
Is he a cast member in Disneyland or Disney World?
Disney World.
Interesting. I wonder if they got rid of Kylo Ren then, because last time I was there, it was not Vader, it was Kylo Ren.
Interesting. And then, Patrick, I asked him how he was faring with his downtime, and he said, quote, it's rough. Going from constant interaction to almost no interaction is very boring. Luckily, I am full-time, so I'm getting paid, but I'm struggling to cope with losing so many of my closest friends who were college program members and international college program members. Initially, I was being deployed to Disney Springs for support shifts, but I have since been called off for these shifts, and I am not to come in at all. It's just an overall weird feeling, and no one really knows what to think or believe.
Oof, Adrian, I feel for you.
That must be an incredible feeling to be just surrounded by people all day long, and then suddenly it's just you.
Right.
Or just you and your partner, depending on who you live with.
When it's your job to interact with thousands of people a day, down to 0 or 1 person a day, that's quite a culture shock.
Yeah, well, Adrian, thank you for giving us that insight into how you're feeling. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And call out to anyone else out there who works for Disney. If you are able to, let us know what you're going through right now. We would love to hear from you. If you will allow us, we would love to give you a voice here on Gaze to the D, just so we all know what you're going through right now. We want to check in with you. Well, Adam, we had some additional feedback from last week's episode, not about our main segment, but about the news that we reported on.
That's news to me.
Wow.
I'm not proud of that.
Okay.
I'm not.
You should be.
I just want to say something because it's so nice to talk.
Listen, you should always be proud of everything that comes out of your mouth. I support you. I'm here for you.
Thank you.
So is Rob. Rob writes to us. He's supportive of us. Well, maybe not. I'm reading ahead here. Rob, I see you. Okay, so Rob's on Instagram, RB Neal, Neale, and he says, Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, is a really stupid name for a ride. Why do the Imagineers, or more likely, the corporate branding experts, in quotes, do this? No one is going to call it that. No one is even going to call it Web Slingers. Everyone will call it Spider-Man. It seems no ride or movie title is complete without a colon and a subtitle, ... Ugh.
I agree, Rob.
Wow, Rob.
I think I made that very clear on last week's episode.
You did.
Web Slingers is silly.
I don't dislike it. I have to tell you.
Web Slingers.
Yeah, but it fits in with the web initiative that they're building within the Marvel's land.
It's not the web, Patrick. It's the Slingers.
What? But they're slinging webs.
I know. I don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Web shooters, web throwers.
It's the slingers part of it that you don't like.
Yes.
Oh.
100%.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the combo of the two also is just putting me off.
I think it's because there's the Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios in Orlando right now. And that's already basically called Spider-Man. It's the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to differentiate themselves from that. And so they created the web.
Yeah.
Which is the hub that's going to be in the Marvel land.
Yeah.
You're just not on board. Nothing I say is gonna get you on board. To be clear, though, we also don't call Expedition Everest its full name.
Mm-hmm.
The Legend of the Forbidden Forest?
Mountain?
See, I don't even know. I don't even know the whole thing. But no one calls it that.
Yeah.
People are going to call it what they want to call it regardless.
You're right.
I know.
Well, I'm not going to call it Web Slingers.
That's fair.
Listeners, please write in and let me know what I should call it.
Just call it the Tom Holland ride.
Oh, well.
I'm going to go on Tom Holland.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I think you want the reverse, but anyway.
Don't listen.
Yeah, either way.
I would do whatever.
Oh.
Desperate times, Adam. We find ourselves in desperate times.
Well, thank you, everybody, for writing in and letting us know your thoughts on Oh No, We Disn't and on the news.
Thanks, dudes.
Dudes.
And dudettes. I don't know.
I think just dudes. It's like saying everyone's an actor now.
Oh,
everyone's a dude.
Everyone's a Tweedledee.
Everyone's a Tweedledee.
Oh, I like this trend.
Yeah.
Next up, Adam, we have a couple of anniversaries to talk about. Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Let's start with the youngest one, as per usual, turning 1 year old.
Just one.
Our very favorite movie was released on March 29th, 2019. The live-action Dumbo.
Oh, yeah.
It's not your fault, Dumbo. It's not your. I feel like I want to have a Good Will Hunting moment with Dumbo.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, I wish you would have saved that elephant and brought it to your home. But you were not able to do that.
There's no saving that elephant. No. That was DOA, Adam. DOA.
Listen, we know a lot of you enjoyed the film. Mm-hmm. We just did not, but that's okay.
It is okay. You're right.
You're not wrong. We're not wrong.
Well, I mean, one of us is wrong. And that person is not in this room right now, Adam. The person is not sitting in this room. JK, we respect you, but no, we don't. We really don't.
I lost a little respect for Tim Burton.
Wow.
Speaking of respect.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on to a movie that I do respect.
Yes.
Turning 21 years old, this movie can drink now. Legally. This movie can legally drink now.
Right. Yeah, it's been drinking
yes.
for like at least 5 years.
Could be. Released on March 26th, 1999, Doug's first movie.
Haven't seen it. Matthew's been diving into a little bit of Doug. I think it's on Hulu, actually, that he's been checking out Doug.
Is it not on Disney Plus now?
I'm sure it's on Disney Plus,
okay.
too, but I think it was on Hulu when he was watching it.
I love Doug. That was my go-to cartoon for sure.
Bald. Clothes don't fit him. Does his dog talk, too?
He was balding. He had some hair.
Oh, okay.
His dog did not talk. Pork Chop, I think you mean.
Pork Chop. And wasn't there like a bossy, sassy girl on Doug, or am I thinking of Rugrats?
You might be thinking of Rugrats. You're thinking of Angelica on Rugrats.
Angelica.
You can't quote that. You have not seen
I just did it.
Hamilton.
What are you going to do? I just did it.
But Rugrats and Doug were of the same sort of Disney afternoon.
Sure.
Kind of well, they were on Nickelodeon technically, but you know what I mean.
I missed it.
Yeah.
You know, I was just old enough that I missed the Doug
Fair enough.
fixation.
Fair enough. Yeah, you were about 17 years too old for that.
How dare you?
What is that? That's not how far apart we are.
It's not accurate, Patrick.
Okay, well.
Moving on.
Okay, great. Happy anniversary, Doug's first movie, and anniversary to the live action Dumbo. I'm not going to wish you a happy anniversary because
Just anniversary.
you know what you did.
Before we head into the news, Patrick, we thought it would be a great idea for us to kind of just mention that there's a lot of people right now who are in need, who have been displaced or had gigs lined up that have been canceled because of the virus. And so we just wanted to encourage everybody to reach out to those they know and those they don't know and kind of take advantage of the fact that these performers, these restaurant workers, these people that have been let go from their positions may need your help.
They are finding themselves in a position that a lot of people are finding themselves in, where their profession relied on social interaction, and that is just simply not a thing right now. And so assistance is needed if you are able.
And when we were talking about this week, Patrick, you had mentioned entertainers specifically and drag queens.
Yeah.
A lot of drag queens have kind of had their livelihood taken away from them because the shows are just not possible right now.
It's true. I have been noticing a lot of drag queens, local ones and national ones that I follow, who have been doing live shows on Instagram.
Yes.
And they smartly have sometimes in the background a little a placard of where you can go to tip them virtually, if you will.
Yep.
I did that a couple of times. It's a smart idea for them to do, and it just makes sense. They still need to make their income, and who knows how long they're going to be out of work. So if you are able, I recommend doing that.
Fifi Dubois,
Yes.
one of our Tweedledees,
Yeah.
frequent commenter on the podcast and a longtime friend of the pod, is actually doing just that, Patrick. She's actually hosting Disney Trivia.
All right.
By the time this episode drops, she will have already done it, but I reached out to her and said, will you be doing it again? And she said, most likely.
Okay, great.
So check out Fifi Dubois DQ on Instagram, and hopefully she'll have another Disney Trivia night coming up soon.
Well, Fifi, if you're listening, send us those details if you do another one, and we will blast that out for you as well. Just another call out to actors in general. I know that Broadway is shut down right now, which means a lot of theaters around are shut down right now. So again, if you are able, reach out to some of these theater companies, local ones that may need your assistance. Buy a season pass for next year. Ask them what you can do if you are able to help them out. I know that Broadway specifically has funds such as Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS that you can donate into that will help a lot of these displaced actors right now. Additionally, a lot of restaurants are closed down. A lot of your local restaurants may still have gift certificates for sale online. Purchase yourself a gift certificate so when we can go outside again, you have something to do.
And if none of those interest you,
And why would they?
why would they? We just wanted to let you know that a coronavirus relief fund has been established by Crooked Media. If you know Crooked Media, you probably love Crooked Media. Crooked Media produces podcasts like Pod Save America,
Pod Save the World.
Pod Save the World, Love It or Leave It. Really fantastic, informative podcasts, often very, very funny. So they've established a coronavirus relief fund, and we've actually linked to it on our website. You can visit gazetothed.com and click on coronavirus relief at the tab at the top of the screen, and your donations will be spread equally to support those who need it most and groups providing critical support during this time, including Feeding America, Meals on Wheels, No Kid Hungry, National Domestic Workers Alliance, Restaurant Workers Community Foundation, CDC Foundation, Direct Relief, and Patrick, the homeless. We didn't even think about that, but the homeless are going to be drastically affected by coronavirus.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that webpage will point you to how you can help those in your community. You can look up shelters near you at the link provided on the page and donate directly to your neighborhood shelters.
Also, just something that we should note for you, that Crooked Media is definitely a left-leaning organization.
Yes.
And frankly, so is Gays Do the D.
Yeah, we dress left here.
But we absolutely respect anybody's political opinion out there. This is a spot to donate to that will get dispersed equally across the United States and beyond. So though this organization happens to be a left-leaning organization, it's time to cast those leanings aside and just give when and where you can.
Yes, there's no political affiliation to any of these organizations, and they all need your help right now.
Absolutely. So thank you, Adam, for having these conversations with me to set up this conversation for our Tweedledees.
It was a lot of work, Patrick.
I know. It's really tough to be generous.
I created a tab on our website, and that was that. But please donate if you can.
So before we officially kick it off into the news, Adam, we should maybe talk about the news briefly before we get into the news.
News about the news.
News about the news.
Sure.
In that I think we all know what's coming. We're going to be talking about all of the changes that are happening at Disney right now.
Yes.
So instead of our traditional news segment where we break it down into sort of news chapters, we're just going to have a conversation about the Disney news that's going on right now.
We're just going to talk about it.
We're just going to chat about it. We're going to try not to give you too much information that you probably already know by now, but some of you may not know. So we're going to definitely discuss it. And maybe that's the right word for it. We're going to discuss the news next, rather than pretend that we're reporting something that everyone has already likely read.
I'm still going to pretend.
Okay, great.
This is all breaking news, folks.
I like it. I like it. Welcome to the new news, Adam.
The new news.
We have new news for our Tweedledees.
That was the whoosh.
I liked it. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why do I even use a sound effect?
I don't know. We should just have you do that. Whoosh.
I like that you actually say it a little bit too.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Yeah, I say it as though it's written.
Beautiful.
Whoosh.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You're a screenplay writer's dream, Patrick. You write the word as it's written.
I bring my own Foley work.
Sure. All right, let's talk about this news sitch.
Let's. As you may know, Disney has fully shut down.
Yes.
I guess we can list the things that have officially closed down, Adam.
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to take it one by one?
Let's take it one by one.
Okay. So all Walt Disney World resort hotels have temporarily closed as of March 20th, including Disney Springs, Downtown Disney District, and all Disney stores, which have closed on March 17th due to coronavirus. I think that we don't need to say that anymore, due to coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's all due to coronavirus.
So sadly, if you want to do it and it's Disney, it's probably not open at this point.
True story. True story.
But for a great reason. As Patrick just mentioned, Disney Springs is closed now, and that means that previews and the opening of Drawn to Life, the new Cirque du Soleil show at Disney Springs, is postponed indefinitely as well.
It's true. With the closings of basically all theme parks, specifically Disney World, the Disney College program has released a statement that they are terminating the program due to social distancing and coronavirus, of course, and that was effective as of March 18th.
That was one of the most shocking things to me.
That was pretty big news. We can maybe pause and talk about that one specifically for a second. So Disney released a statement a couple of days prior to when they needed everyone to be out of the campus, basically, which, of course, caused a little bit of panic within that community of Disney College program members. There were a lot of people wondering how they would get home. Of course, as you know, a lot of the Disney College program members include international cast members.
Yes, yeah.
And so Disney then, the next day, released a statement saying that they would work case by case with individuals who didn't know how to get home, didn't know what to do next. And they officially said that they would not leave anyone displaced. They would help everybody out and that everybody would be paid through the end of the month and that their dues, of course, for their housing would be eliminated, basically, for while they were supposed to be staying there.
It's so interesting when you think about the logistics of all this, like having to close down a major operation like the Disney College program.
Right.
And you're trying to do something right in kind of keeping everyone healthy and safe. But then some of the things kind of get forgotten. Like,
yes.
oh, yeah, some people might still need housing or might need help getting home.
Absolutely.
And so then, of course, the need for like a second release goes out to kind of reassure everyone. But it's just crazy to me to think about everything that needs to happen in order to shut something like that down.
All the moving pieces behind it. And I fully understand why they did it. I mean, you have hundreds of young college kids within close proximity to each other
right,
who have nothing to do but try to be together.
Right.
And that's the last thing that needs to happen right now is a
Right.
bunch of people trying to be together in uncertain times.
Well, it sounds like Disney is taking care of those that need the help, either getting home or need housing during this time.
Yes, that's what they have said anyways. We don't know exactly what they're doing, but they have released a statement saying that that is their intention.
Moving on, Patrick, we also found out, sadly, that British Revolution Band in the UK Pavilion at Epcot has played its last performance.
That is really sad news.
It is. This one didn't surprise me as much because I kind of assumed with the potential Mary Poppins attraction construction
Oh, that's fair.
that maybe that band would no longer be able to play where they were playing, but I wasn't expecting them to be released altogether.
Mm-hmm.
We also heard that Matsuriza Taiko drummers in the Japan Pavilion in Epcot also played their last performance.
So does this mean that Disney sort of released them from their contract, or that they are just putting themselves on hold until further notice? I mean, obviously no one's performing there right now.
Right. The impression that I got from the band and the drummers' messages that they released on Twitter was that they were released from like their contracts or from their theme park performing altogether.
Interesting. I wonder if that holds true for all of the entertainers and they were just the only ones who made a public statement about it.
That's a great point. It's going to be interesting to see once things start to reopen, who's going to be affected, who's going to be left behind, and who's still going to be a part of the performing community in the Disney parks.
Moving on, those who previously had a slot in the upcoming Star Wars Rival Run weekend likely saw the news via email or online that they have officially canceled that race weekend. I think it might be interesting to quickly read the release that they gave, just to give those who were not involved with Run Disney, because you maybe didn't see this statement, a little glimpse as to what's going on. So Disney says, with circumstances continuing to change rapidly around the globe, we are making critical and timely decisions based on guidance from local, national, and international health agencies. As we have shared before, we are basing our decisions on the safety and well-being of our cast members and our guests, since there is nothing more important than that. In an abundance of caution, the 2020 Star Wars Rival Run weekend will be canceled. In addition, because our Run Disney races require the presence of local medical professionals and first responders to monitor and treat runners, this will free up those resources for more critical needs during this time. All participants for the Star Wars Rival Run weekend at Walt Disney World Resort who purchased their registrations on rundisney.com will receive a refund for their race registration. Refunds will be given for race registration for the half marathon, 10K, 5K, and Rival Run Challenge, commemorative merchandise previously purchased, cheer squad previously purchased, and any processing fees. Guests who have already received a partial refund will receive the remaining balance to a Disney gift card. The timing around this can be expected to be processed in 4 to 6 weeks. If you haven't received your refund after 6 weeks, please visit and contact the help section at rundisney.com.
Patrick, you were planning to attend this Run Disney event. How are you feeling?
I was indeed. I expected this to happen. I was just sort of a waiting game on when they would officially announce it. It makes total sense to me. Of course, I'm heartbroken. It's something that you train for a while and something that you look forward to, but I'm also on the side of we need to take care of this. This is not a necessity in life right now. We need to take care of each other and be as distant from each other as we possibly can until this hopefully eradicates itself. So I totally understand, but I have empathy for everyone else out there who is very disappointed right now.
Well, I know how much you love Run Disney events. I know how much you love making the trip down there and the camaraderie between the runners and the experience of running through the parks. So I'm so sorry that you're not going to be able to experience that this time. But what you just said is so important that in order to be able to do it next time, we need to take care of this now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have been in contact with a lot of my runner friends who are going to be there as well. And we're sort of planning on doing virtual runs and doing what we can to just keep our morale up. So I encourage all of you out there, if you were planning to go, reach out to someone that you maybe were going to meet while you were there. Reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you and we'll plan something. We'll plan a virtual run.
I won't be doing that. So it's really just Patrick.
Fair enough.
Just reach out to Patrick.
Adam will be a virtual cheer squad.
I will, in a full-on outfit.
Oh.
The outfit will not be virtual, Patrick. It'll be very tight and very revealing.
Ooh.
Moving on to the theatrical side, Patrick. Black Widow, which was originally scheduled for theatrical release on May 1st, 2020, has been postponed. So we don't know when that will be released in the theaters. But similar to what Disney did with the live-action remake of Mulan, those movies are going to be on hold until it's safer for us to be together in public.
That's true. I think all Disney films right now, along with all films in general, are sort of put on hold right now.
Yeah.
The remake of The Little Mermaid, Home Alone, Shrunk, all those movies are just on pause for a bit until we figure this out.
Despite everything we've just said, Patrick, about all the closures and things associated with that, there are some bright spots in all of this.
Some softer news, if you will.
Yes. Chef Jose Andres, who seems like one of the best people in the world.
Yes, correct. That is a correct statement.
Who kind of always reaches out when people are struggling, has started a new employee support fund for those that were working in his restaurant, Jaleo, in Disney Springs. So for those that are interested in helping support the fund, there are discount gift cards available. 100% of the proceeds go directly to the employees, and you can purchase those gift cards at joseandreas.com/gift card.
That's amazing. He does amazing work in the communities around the world. He's inspiring.
Absolutely.
Along those lines, Disneyland Paris has joined the donating club, it seems, with the Disney parks in donating 15 tons of food to help local communities in and around Paris.
Like you mentioned, they're kind of following in the footsteps of Disneyland and Walt Disney World, both of which are donating to Second Harvest Food Bank, either of Central Florida or of Orange County.
It's true. It's amazing. And it just makes sense. Of course they were going to do that. And a lot of the delivery of this food, they are relying on their cast members who have jumped to the call of duty. And it's been very inspiring to read the stories about that.
Turning back to media, Patrick, we learned last week that Pixar's Onward is going to be coming to Disney Plus on April 3rd and is available right now for digital download.
It's interesting to see Disney do this, and it makes total sense. They, want to keep their guests entertained because we are quickly running out of Disney.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I mean, hopefully it'll just bring in some revenue for them on Disney Plus because that is kind of right now their only main source of income. I mean, I'm sure they have many other sources of income, but that is a definite current stream of income for them.
And I know a lot of our Tweedledees were really excited to see the film and didn't get a chance to before the theaters closed.
It's true.
So this is a great opportunity, and it's also just a great gesture of goodwill for all those people that have Disney Plus and have supported the parks and the company for all these years to be able to just log on and watch the movie from the comfort of their home during this kind of darker time in our lives.
I really wish that Disney would push out the way that Netflix has the Netflix Party on Chrome. Have you seen this?
No.
It's really interesting. So there's an attachment on Chrome, an add-on, I guess, that you can connect to your Netflix account on your computer. And so you can send that to your friends and you can all watch Netflix together and chat in a chat bubble.
Oh, it's kind of like Twitch, like what gamers do with Twitch.
Kind of, yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah, I wish that Disney would come out with one called like Disney Plus and Chill, maybe. I've been calling it Social Distance and Chill.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm into it. I would love, if they come out with that, I will absolutely captain a Disney Plus and Chill with all of our Tweedledees out there. That would be so much fun.
Fantastic.
You've heard it here first, folks.
And I'm going to wear my Cheer Squad uniform.
Great.
The really tight, revealing one.
I'm going to wear what I usually wear, which is nothing at all.
That's more revealing than my Cheer Squad.
Just a smile and a laptop on my lap. That's it.
There's so many jokes I want to make about laptop burns and the heat. No, I'm not gonna go there.
It's not funny because it's true, Adam.
Oh. Scalded.
Last on our list of news items, Adam, we have learned that Rosario Dawson has been cast as Oshaka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2.
This is big, Patrick.
That's pretty exciting news.
Very exciting. What a beloved character in the Star Wars universe.
Is this going to be the first character who is not original to the Mandalorian series?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
There's been other characters like in the Star Wars literature.
Yeah, I guess I'm not enough of a Star Wars aficionado.
But I believe this is the first Star Wars character that's coming from the animated universe and being brought to the small screen.
We're going to get so many
I know.
DMs about this. Right? So many people are going to be like, actually.
I will fully admit, I'm not that familiar with this character, but I know she's so beloved.
Yeah.
And people are really excited for this. I believe she appears in the Clone Wars animated
I believe
series.
that's correct. And she's a mainstay now in the Run Disney, R.I.P. Run Disney, in the Run Disney character meet and greets.
In the animated series, she's voiced by Ashley Eckstein.
Mm-hmm.
And she has appeared in all 7 seasons of Clone Wars.
That's amazing.
It'll be very exciting to see her brought to life in live action. And it'll be a really cool addition to The Mandalorian. I think she'll drive a lot of new viewers to that series.
I'm excited to see what she's going to look like because in the animated series, she's very visually iconic.
Yeah, I think she's going to have that look.
I hope so.
Unless she's fallen on hard times.
Do you think Amy Sedaris is a character? And I mean Amy Sedaris in the Clone Wars as well?
Yes, she was Jerry Blank in the Clone Wars.
Got
do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It was an odd choice.
What a weird crossover.
Yeah, but an interesting one.
I like it. I like it. Well, that sort of closes out the news segments, Adam. But I wanted to quickly touch base on some Disney ideas that I had, some more soft news before we go into our main segment of things that people can do at home while they can't sort of be part of the Disney community socially. I know we've talked about it before, but Disney has their hand now in the Khan Academy.
Yes.
With their online classes, Imagineering in a Box, which will take you through animation, basically, from a lot of Disney Imagineers. And it is free of charge. This is something that you can do with your kids, you can do alone, you can do with your spouse. It's all really fun. I've seen some of the content, and it's really amazing. And it's, again, free to do. You can do that online at Khan Academy. That's KHAN Academy.org, and just search for Imagineering in a Box. And then lastly, I would love to direct everyone to go to the Disney Parks blog. They have a ton of resources there right now. Something that's really cute that I'm going to start doing, actually, is they are releasing a lot of the how to draw the characters in sort of a little short video that you can do at home while you're supposed to be working.
I would love to see your drawings, Patrick.
I haven't done any yet, but I know in my heart of hearts that I'm a terrible, terrible artist.
We did the one in Disney California Adventure.
So you know. And I would love to post those maybe on the GDTD Instagram.
Oh, everybody's going to want to see those.
Nobody's going to want to see them.
Yeah. We should do them together.
Okay.
And then be like, guess who did what drawing?
Everyone's going to know.
They're going to know.
They're going to know. They're going to know. Once you see my art, you can't unsee my art.
Right.
That's a thing.
It's brutalist. It's disturbing.
Yes. But it's really cute. If you haven't checked it out, go over to the disneyparks.disney.go.com/blog. And basically all of their latest stories are lighthearted stories, like activities such as the drawing Mickey Mouse, drawing all the Disney characters. They're also doing a lot of stories about the animals that live in Animal Kingdom. It's really beautiful and really cute and very uplifting, which I think we all need right now.
I'm particularly excited to do the drawing of Minnie the Mouse wearing only the heart of the ocean. Did you see that? Did you see that tutorial?
I like that you said Minnie the Mouse.
Oh, did I?
Did she change her name in these new times?
There's a level of pretense there now that wasn't there before for Minnie the Mouse. Hey, Patrick.
Heyo, Adam.
As we mentioned at the top of the episode, it's kind of a weird time to be a Disney fan.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of things closed, Patrick.
Oh, that.
Are you not? Did you were not paying attention this entire episode so
I never
far?
do.
There was
I literally never do.
a huge news segment where we talked about everything that was closed.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll listen to the episode and then I'll know what you're talking about.
And you'll have notes for me?
Yep.
That's nice
Yep.
of you. But we're very fortunate in that we have two of our friends here who have recently been to Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
And they have stories to tell.
And let's say by here, we mean 8 feet apart here.
We have a very safe distance between all of us.
Yeah.
Although, frankly, Patrick, I'm not sure I wouldn't be this far away from them anyway.
I
even if there
prefer
was
it.
yeah,
in general.
Yeah, it's a good, safe distance overall.
Yeah.
Well, should we introduce them, or should we just keep talking about them?
Let's just keep talking about them.
Great. Okay, so what do you think about Paul and Bart?
One's tall, one's not. One's gay, the other is as well. And that's all I know about them.
Okay, so Paul,
Yes.
welcome, Paul. You've been to the podcast before.
I have.
So we know all about you.
before.
Twice
Welcome
before.
back, Paul.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Paul. And we need to welcome your husband, Bart, to the podcast for the very first time.
I am so excited.
Oh, he sings. I like it.
Yeah, something like that. Ooh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. That's our drag queen friend that does that all the time. All the time.
I love that this is just giving our listeners a flavor of what's to come
Yes.
already.
Yes.
This is
Speaking
so
of
great.
drag queens, we
Yes.
have mentioned Loring Mitchell on
Yes.
the pod
Yeah.
many times before. Bart is that Loring Mitchell.
Dun, dun, dun. Wait, is that the right way to say that?
Do you intro your own self with your own sound effects
Dun,
on stage like that?
Yes. Welcome to the stage. At this time. She sucks. And welcome.
No, she's wonderful.
Bart, we should let our listeners know if they want to find you on Instagram as Loring Mitchell, how can they find you?
At Loring Mitchell.
Oh,
That was too
it's
easy.
just that easy.
I'm
And the face
simple.
place, too. You're on the face place.
I am on the face place as Loring Mitchell as well.
Wow, inventive.
Why don't you just keep that simple, everybody? Not at, hey, Lush Drag Queen, at Loring Mitchell, at, hi, I am hot. I don't know. Cut that out. I need a drink.
You have one. I poured you 2 so far before we
And the second
started
one
recording.
was just alcohol, everybody. Can I talk about social distancing? Because Adam is across the room.
Yeah.
Across the room.
Yeah.
You're weird.
No, I just prefer to remain
Weird.
healthy, and we should really thank you up front because you're both of advanced age and are probably
Would you like to go running around the block right now? Would you like to go running around the block right now?
push-up contest. Push-up
Let's go.
contest.
5, 6, 7, 8.
That's not a push-up. That's
I'll
not a
take
push-up.
that on as well. Come on, Patrick. Oh, wait, no, I won't because you are the runner.
Yeah.
I take that back.
Well, you guys just came back from Walt Disney World.
We did.
As we said, how long ago was that? 3 weeks?
2
weeks ago.
So you were there kind of at the start of the coronavirus scare.
We
Yeah,
were like right on the cusp. Right,
Yeah.
Right before they kind of put the clamp down on that.
You were Corona cuspers.
We were.
Okay.
But you would never know it because it was packed every day in every park.
But you mentioned you were aware of like hand washing stations and things like that, precautions that were being taken.
Yeah. It seemed like people were washing their hands a lot. They were putting out
The sanitation stations. But like I said, when you walk up, there may be a couple that you walked up to and you're like, oh, that's empty. Okay.
Yeah.
But we did. Seriously, like it was just smart to wash your hands after every ride. There wasn't the kind of panic that there is now or
Yeah.
the awareness that there is now, but we just knew that that was something that we need to do. You could see everybody being aware of that. Like kids stay off of the railing, don't touch that kind of thing. But still everybody was having a blast. So it didn't
I
matter.
was very conscious of people coughing and sneezing.
true.
That was about the only thing that was
Yeah,
different for me was anytime someone would sneeze or cough and my head would whip around and like, who was that? And I
So
would-
it's not a joke now, and you might edit this out. But at that time, you would be like, "Hey, coronavirus."
Right.
And right now, you're like, "That's not funny."
Right.
But we didn't know anything about it as we do now, as how it's depth and how important it is now. So then it was more like kind of joking about it, still being aware. But yeah,
Back
let's
then,
change the
when we were
mood.
so
Let's
young.
change the mood.
No, I think it's fair to recognize that even 2 weeks ago, we were not quite as prepared as we are now and as knowledgeable as we are now.
for sure.
Unfortunately, we should have been prepared and more knowledgeable sooner.
Yeah.
But we weren't.
Yeah.
And we were making, even here on GDTD podcast, we were not making light of it, but we were being a little bit more cavalier. That's a great word about
What
it.
a word.
Yeah, well
Paul.
done. Well done.
That's why he will start all of the conversations tonight, and I will follow up with it.
Well, I haven't gotten a word in edgewise.
But we do. We find ourselves in a new world,
Yeah.
and here we are. So thank you for sharing that and bringing light to it.
Yes.
But let's talk about the world before all of this began.
Yes.
Because I think what our listeners and what our Tweedledees want most right now is kind of like to live vicariously through your trip and kind of experience the magic at home. So we need to talk about what you were doing there, what you were celebrating. What was the reason for your visit?
Sure. Well, it was kind of a belated honeymoon for us. us. We got married a couple of years ago and we never did a proper honeymoon. So it was kind of that, acknowledging that. And also it was coinciding with our 20th year of knowing each other.
Knowing each other. not dating, knowing each other. No, it was like
Having
been being together for like 20 years. Yeah.
Yep. So
and a trip by ourselves, because like we usually go with other people. So this was a good time for just us. We usually go with a group, and it was great.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Our first night there, we went to the California Grill. At the top of the Contemporary
Wow,
Resort.
strong start.
It was a strong start. The meal was delicious. We'd never been there before, so I was very excited to see what it was like. The menu was fabulous. The service was fabulous. The view was fabulous.
And you can see the fireworks at Magic
Happily
Kingdom.
ever after.
It's a little chilly. The nights were a little bit chilly when we were down there, so we were like cuddled up, and that's what I just love. Like nobody cares, nobody does anything, and I was freezing, and Paul's got his arms around me, and I'm like, "Can we go inside anytime soon?" But because it was right when the fireworks were getting over, and I'm like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Can we go? But that's an amazing. That's an amazing meal. It's an amazing experience. So I recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, it was super good. Have you guys been there?
I've never been to California.
Oh my gosh.
I have not. How is seeing the fireworks from that restaurant?
It was great. It was, you don't see the projections, which are a big part of that. You're getting an idea. They're projecting something on the castle, but you can't tell what it is. But you can see the fireworks. What really surprised me was how far back behind the castle the fireworks actually are. So you kind of get that vantage point, but
they pipe the music in.
Okay, they do.
I mean, the music is right. The speakers are right there in front of you, so it's not like you're missing any of that. You know what's going on. I mean, you can't see the projections when you're there, but you still get an idea.
And the server was great because the food was going to be served soon. The show was going to be starting soon, and so he came up to us and said, "Would you like to eat now, or do you want us to bring your food out after the show?" And so we opted to do after
the show.
Yeah, so that was very nice that they held it for us.
And I should have mentioned this at the top of this segment, but when was the last time you guys were in Walt Disney World? Because it's been a while, so there was a lot of new things you got to experience on this trip.
Yes, there was so much new on this trip. So 3.5 years ago, when we went with you and Rick.
Yeah.
So a lot of new stuff came shortly after that previous trip. So I felt like this whole time everything was.
And can I add
was
something
new.
Like just really random, really random? But there was a couple that was next to us that was also celebrating their anniversary. I think they were.
So.
We never find out what they were celebrating, but we ran into them on.
It was our first night.
First night we
had
ran
dinner
into
at the
them,
table next to us.
them. And then when we were at Epcot eating at the main dining area by Travel Through Time or whatever, the Soarin', the place where the
Sunshine Seasons.
Yes. They sat right next to us there. And then we were in line next to them for
Expedition Everest.
And it was it
became a running joke.
It was a running joke. We're like,
why are you so obsessed with me?
They actually said after the second time, I'm like, are we going to see them today? And that was the time we saw them at Expedition Everest.
Yeah, they were like, we were just talking about you, and there you are.
Of course you were. Hi.
Oh, wow.
Have you seen us?
Wow.
Please.
Isn't that always funny, though? Like, even if you don't interact with people, you always end up seeing
a lot of the
someone,
same people.
that you've noticed before in different parks when you're there.
But it's just so random. It's like you have all these parks to choose from, and it's timing, and it's just, we literally sat down to eat, and they were right next to us, and they said, "Hey, you," and I'm like, "Who the hell are these people?" Oh, hi. How are you? Because like that first night, it was just like I was tired and I was just like I'm eating and everything. So it was like, "Hi, people next to us. Yes, great. Thank you."
Yeah.
And next. I thought it was a cool thing when we ran into them the third time.
That's something that I think is fun that happens, for me anyway, specifically at Disney, that I feel more comfortable pointing it out when I see it and talking to those people. Whereas here in Minnesota, if I saw someone twice in 1 week, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, oh, whatever. But in Disney, it's like, oh, let's have a conversation. Now we're in the same place at the same time. We both enjoy the same things. We have a couple things in common already, at least. Let's have a chat. And I love that about Disney.
This is probably a great time to admit that it was actually me and Patrick the whole time. In disguise.
Hello.
Yep.
It was us.
You're a
Wig reveal.
Patrick, you're a handsome woman.
Thank you so much.
Handsome woman.
That's not the first time I heard that today.
Well,
So
sorry about that.
no, it's fine. I'm
When you're ready for
embracing
Halloween,
it.
I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you.
It's Halloween every day in my life.
Spackle that up.
Oh, thank you so much. Love you.
Well, let's talk about some of the new things you got to experience. And some of the things a lot of our listeners won't even have had the chance to experience yet. And the first thing we want to bring up, of course, is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which just opened, right?
Yeah.
The week that you were there.
The day before we went to that park, it had opened.
Wow.
Yes.
Give us your review of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway without spoiling it.
Sure. So if you're a Disney fan, you maybe know generally what the theme of the ride is. So it's in the Chinese theater, where the Great Movie Ride, is that what it was called? The Great Movie Ride used to
So
be.
long ago.
May it rest in peace.
Oh, thank goodness I hate that ride.
Not my favorite.
Same.
But all I can think of is the woman who jumps on the tram. And apparently everyone that works at Hollywood Studios thinks that if you were a character in a movie in the 30s or 40s, you talk like this. See, we're going to talk.
You did, Paul.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's how they talked back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, the new ride, it was in the Chinese theater, and I believe they refurbed the lobby a little bit. It looked a little freshened up, and it's Mickey and Minnie's first attraction, which seems just bizarre to
Isn't
me.
that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's based on the more current Mickey Mouse cartoons. So it's got that look to it. And I don't know how they do this exactly, but the feeling when you're going through it is that you're in a two-dimensional cartoon. I mean, there's three-dimensional aspects to it, and that things are popping out at you, and yet they're still sort of flat like a two-dimensional cartoon. It's very hard to explain. You just have to experience it. But very fun, very fast-paced.
Very fast-paced.
There's a million things going on at once. I feel like you could ride this thing 20 times and still not take in all the details. Super fun, really funny. There was one point where the ride kind of, well, it didn't break down, but it paused.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what happened. I mean,
There was a pause.
We're in. I could say Daisy's ballroom. So Daisy's ballroom, and
Yeah.
it stops, and then all of a sudden, Daisy's like her eyes are still working. The ride stopped, but Daisy's eyes are working, and so she's blinking, and then all of a sudden, she gives you a side eye
from
so what?
Daisy.
You start this out in a train, and then at some point in time, the train breaks apart. I hope that's okay to say. And so you're just standing there or sitting there, and there's eight of us in this little cart, and every single one of us are like, "That's funny as hell." Like she does blink, side eye, blink, side eye, and you're just like. Yeah,
Why?
that's a side eye. That's
Why
an
are
actual
you
side eye.
giving me side eye,
And
Daisy?
it's not. It's just different. It was nice and it was different. Like so, yes. For me, not being like the Disney like fanatic that I am, this ride is probably my top 3. Probably my second favorite ride. There's so much to look at, and it's so fun, and it's that classic, but they've brought it and freshened it up.
Yeah.
But it is literally it's so much fun, and I wasn't excited to go on it. We got there, we were doing the Rise of the Resistance, and he's like, "Do you want to go on this?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?"
It's shades of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride,
But it's
got that sort of frenetic.
But it's-
we're on this crazy romp,
Yeah.
but it's more up to date in terms of the technology.
yeah, the technology, but it's like that old, like they put Mickey through the ringer kind of a thing, you know. And it's just there's like where am I looking? While that might be awkward for some people, it's just still it's so awesome.
My only criticism of the ride, I thought it was fabulous. The only criticism I had was that at the very end, it ends sort of abruptly.
Yeah,
like you think something is going to happen and it doesn't. And then before you know it, the ride is over. That's my first comment. And the other is there is a song that is prominently featured in this ride that is the new earworm. I think it's like the new Small World, basically. I couldn't get it out of my head the rest of the day.
It is catchy and it's awesome. For me, it's a classic Disney. It's that feeling when you were a kid and you came here, and that's what the experience was. I'm almost starting to cry here because like it's like when you were a kid and you just think about that again. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
That is exactly what I've been hearing from the Disney community, that people have been loving it. I haven't heard anything negative about it, except for, to elaborate on what you were saying, Paul, is that it ends too quickly.
Yeah.
Which, if I distill that down, it almost just sounds like people just wanted more. They just wanted to stay on the ride for longer.
I wanted it to keep going.
Yeah.
It's still a long ride.
Which is a great compliment, though, right? For a ride to be
for
like,
sure.
I wish this would never end.
Well, yeah, because you want to go on it again.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go on that hour and a half, 2 hour line. That's what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Where's my fast pass? Not yet.
So you mentioned earlier that you went on that ride because you were waiting for your boarding pass, basically, for Rise of the Resistance. Is that correct?
Correct.
Talk to us briefly about your experience getting your boarding pass, and then tell us what you thought of Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
Paul was stressed.
It was very stressful. I will admit that I slept fitfully the night before.
Oh no.
I was really stressed about it. I was telling Bart while we were waiting in line, and I think at this point we'd actually gotten the boarding pass, and then I would kind of calmed down, but I said, I was basically talking to myself all night saying, okay, so there's a chance we won't get a boarding pass. And you know what? That's okay. It's not going to ruin our day. I was sort of, in a way, preparing myself that we might not
Can I
get
just
one.
interject something really quick?
Please do.
3 weeks before we ever traveled, he's like, okay, you're going to get on the app, and this is what's going to happen. So you're going to do this, this, and this. You normally leave your phone at home. You're not going to do that. You're going to take it with you. We can't take any bags with us, so you're going to do this. So when we get on there, have you downloaded the app? Have you downloaded the app? You got the app? I've got the app. Honey, I've got the app.
Okay,
So-
now we're going to do a test run.
Oh no.
No, you have to go in and out. You have to go in and out. You have to go in and out. Let's watch a YouTube. We'll watch a couple of
may have
YouTube.
watched a couple of
hey,
YouTube videos.
pause the TV because we're gonna watch this YouTube thing. And all joking aside, I truly appreciate the work that he put into this. Because I am a fly by the seat of my pants kind of a guy, and he planned the shit out of this thing, which is great. So he was
Planned it out.
He was a little bit more stressed about this than I was.
high-strung.
But we did talk about if this doesn't happen, it's okay.
It's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world.
But in reality, if you didn't get on the ride, you would not be still married. Is that correct?
My fault. That is not. I had my app out. I was
Listen,
ready to go.
listen.
I was ready to go.
I empathize. I would divorce somebody immediately if they mess it up for me.
Well, you've got other issues than that. Then
I think
Well, that's
so.
a different podcast. That's a different podcast.
I think so many couples can relate to the scenario here because it seems like of the couples that we know, there's always the planner and
course.
the one who wants to make sure that everything goes correctly. And then there's the one who's a little bit more laid back and like relaxed on a Disney trip.
Yeah.
And you've got 3 planners here
Yeah.
and 1 laid back guy.
Yeah.
3 cooks and 1 eater. So that's how that goes, everybody. Well, no, that's what you have to have because, like, seriously, I am kind of just like so laid back and like a fly by the seat of your pants, and you cannot do that here. And he is so much more knowledgeable and versed in what we're going to do. Take that, run,
That's a
go.
really polite way of saying that I'm really like type A.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how some relationships work, and that's how that's great. But there'd be no point in both of us being like, we're going to do this and this, because at some point in time you're going to butt heads. Like, just plan it and let's just go, and just that's how it's going to work.
And I think that's a healthy way to go into it. Someone has to be sort of, not to take charge, but the one who's going, you know what, I'm going to take care of us. And the other one's going, you do that.
Yes.
I'm gonna
going
have
along
fun
for the
for the 2 of
ride.
us
Yeah.
then instead.
Yep.
I hope that's okay anyway.
I think it's great.
And it actually really was helpful. I thought it was good that we had planned in advance because we were on the same page. We walked in. We knew exactly what we needed to do and where we needed to go. So we waited in the line, and then the countdown to the park opening was about the most stressful 10 minutes of my life. I started
He got
to get
quiet.
really nervous.
Do you have
I
your
was,
app open? Do
I
you have
was
your app
shaking.
open?
I was literally shaking.
I didn't see that, so I know he's going like, this is going to start soon.
Stress sweat is starting to form.
They normally say a minute before. They normally say 2 minutes before it's going to really open. It opens, and it didn't. Literally at
It was like right on the dot.
8 o'clock.
Is
It's
when
like
it-
clockwork.
And 2 minutes before, the dynamic in the line changes. Like, there's still people talking, but it's more
A hush falls over the crowd.
And it kind of it. And
I was like, Bart, eyes on me. Eyes on
But
me.
I was eyes on me. Well, you were behind me. So, but no, we were both out, and you could see everybody's phones, and you see people heads down and just like, and talking like, are you stressed out? I'm not stressed out. I hope I get on it. But no, you see
Just
this
exacerbates the
yeah,
stress
for
a
sure,
little
because you're like, all these people, and we're not the only ones in the park that want to get on this ride. But as it turned out, we got on, like, you would just hear little pockets of yay,
Yeah.
yay.
You could hear the cheers going
And
up through the crowd.
And even me, my dork ass goes like, And I'm like, what the hell is
We're
wrong?
high-fiving each other.
And the lady next to us, her husband, who was in one of those motor scooters, he's the one that got on for them. So it was, she's like, we got on. I'm like, why do you even care? Like, I don't even, do you like Star Trek? You're here for the Disney because that's what you were brought up.
I just want to point out that Bart just said, do you like Star Trek?
Trek.
I did. Oh, I did. I do that all the time. See,
You care so much about
everybody.
it.
See, everybody. That's why I'm like the generic guy here. Here's the thing. I grew up with Star Trek. I'm a little farm boy, and I grew up watching Star Trek every day. So there's a lot of people out there going, you're an idiot. And that's fine. I don't care. So that's why I always like the Star Wars. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Star Wars and not Star Trek. So yes, I'm offended a lot of people, but that's just how I am. Like,
Embrace it.
yeah.
Okay, so the question is for Paul then. Being in line, Paul, what was it like? What was your experience?
For Rise of the Resistance?
Yes.
Fabulous. We were taking in all of the details. So we had not been to Galaxy's Edge yet. It was exciting and a little nerve-wracking because I knew what was going to happen. So I have to confess.
Don't you dare.
You didn't.
I watched a video online before I went on it. So I knew what was going to happen. And I was just biting my tongue the whole time because I wanted to give Bart a little bit of a heads up on what was going to happen. But I kept my mouth shut because I wanted to see what his reaction would be. And the whole time, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the whole time he was like, wow.
The moment that you walk in that area, when you walk in
The land.
yeah. It is
Amazing.
I'm going to say this and you're going to cut this out, but it's amazing. It's so amazing to me. Like that, the details, and it is literally walking into that world. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, we already had the Star Trek and Star Wars coming, but like it is literally you're walking into that movie. So I was in awe the whole time. Like, yeah, I could hang out in that land all day, just because I walk around and just to see everything and hang out. And hello, Chewbacca walks around all the time. So you're like, I want it. Give me that. I want a picture. Come here, son of a. But he just keeps walking. I'm like, where does that man ever stop? Come here. Or where does that beast ever stop?
We did do a lot of just walking around and kind of taking in the details, probably more than we did at any other land. We just kind of were.
It's beautiful.
Taking it all in. Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's
so much
detailed.
detail.
And I mean, like, that's the whole thing. It's elevated. And then when you think about it, I'm going to elevate it again. And then I'm going to do it one more time just to shock the hell out of you. Not shock, but just to just immerse you in this. And it's, yeah, like geeked out for sure.
And what I appreciated about what you were talking about, Chewie was walking around, and what I liked was that it didn't become the photo op per se, where he's just standing there and there's a line of people waiting to take their picture with him, because that would have taken you out of the world that they were trying to create. And so the fact that he was just sort of striding around, and if you happen to snap a picture of him, great, but he wasn't there to be, it wasn't like the characters in the other parks where you just line up to have your photo taken.
I think the only time I ever saw him stop when he saw somebody with a Chewbacca shirt on, and I did see him stop a couple times, because then he's like pointing to this, and then he's pointing to the person that takes pictures, and it's like that kind of thing. Yeah.
That was a great,
thank you,
a great impression. Also, Paul, I love that you are close enough with him to call him Chewie.
Sure.
Whereas the rest of us say Chewbacca. So that's great. Good for
so
you.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you loved Rise of the Resistance, right?
We did. Yes, it was amazing. I loved seeing Bart's reaction to it. Was probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah, I don't even know how much we could talk about it, but it's like the experience. It's the experience. Yes, it's all of the graphics and everything that go with that, but it's the experience. And we both said you got to give a heads up to the people that work in that park, because it is like full on. This is like you're acting.
Yeah, they didn't.
You got
break
these
character.
little kids, not at all. And you got these little kids that are like, "You're mean," you're screaming all this, and they're like, "You are evil children." You're like, "Haha, yeah, you are." That experience, again, you just took it to another level. And so I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, just going from one level to another, and everything was pretty awesome.
We both made that comment on our subsequent trips about how, those First Order guards and the Resistance and all of the cast members in that ride really do a phenomenal job in making that world very real to you.
Yeah, it's not just an attraction; it's a theatrical experience. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the life-size stuff, like again, the walkers, that made. I think I literally did go like swear quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I screamed.
At some point in time, he's like, "You have to stop swearing." Like Junior over here, that's 8 years old. I don't think his parents appreciate that. That's another ride that I swore on as well. We'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, it was. You just saw that and you didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. You probably knew about it, but then the whole ride and you take off on the main captain guy, like that has drive, like in the main movies, you're like, you're right in front of me. You're right here. I'm like, I love it. So yeah, again, while I'm not as like, I didn't grow up like a Star Wars guy like that I have to appreciate. Like you're right in front of me. And it didn't matter where you looked. Like you looked at we were in the back of that shuttle. And you saw, you see the takeoff, and then you look in the front. Like again, this is a ride you could ride so many times. You would see something different every time because I already looked back there, so I'm going to look up front. I'm going to watch. Oh, and there's side thing over here. That's pretty amazing.
I wanted the whole thing to just like slow down. I wanted it to stop so that I could take in some of the details more. Even just the little details, like you see two characters walking across a catwalk above you.
Yeah.
But you see, I mean, like, I understand that they're projections, but at the same time, they're casting shadows. And I want to understand, how are you doing that? I just wanted to savor it and take it in. And I really wanted the whole thing to just stop for a while so I could just take it all in.
This was the first attraction I've ever been on, and I believe the same is true of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, where you aren't aware of show elements, and by that I mean like lighting or like practical things that like create the magic.
Right.
You're just in the magic.
You
right?
are
like,
in the
so
magic.
Like you look all around you, and there's nowhere where you can see like a light or something like that or a
Not
speaker.
at all.
Yeah.
My only thing that I would say is like we were in the catacombs, you might call it, waiting, and we waited probably 15 minutes and there was nothing. At minute 11 or 12, people were starting to be like, what's going on?
The line wasn't moving.
Yeah, it wasn't
for quite
doing
a while.
anything. And so there's no way of communicating. Hey, hang out. Or there would have been like something like, it would have been cool to have like an android say, come on, or do something to say something. But I'm like, I sat down at some point in time because like, I'm old.
That was
surprising. I think it's the only time where you didn't really know what was happening. Because
Yeah.
usually there's a recording that will come on and say, ladies and gentlemen, and then just explain to you why you're not moving.
Yeah. And even
The line was moving along at a pretty good clip, and then all of a sudden
it
just
was like boom,
stopped, and then
and you didn't move. You didn't. It's not like you're standing there and you move like 5 feet. You didn't move anywhere.
So I think the ride had broken down.
That's the guess, and that would be logically. But again, it would be nice if somebody would say, like, even just make it funny.
Okay, so I have a question. So I confess that I watched a video, so I kind of knew what was going to happen. And there's a moment in the attraction, I won't say what it is because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but there is a rather elaborate effect involving Kylo Ren. And when we went on it, that moment didn't happen. It was a slightly different experience.
I think you may have seen the B mode for the attraction.
So that was my question. Is there is another track.
Did it involve seeing a ship instead of Kylo?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the B mode then.
Got
there
it.
must have been something wrong with the animatronic.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And that would explain why the line stopped for as long as it did.
Well, I think I probably watched that with you because I was expecting more of something to happen as well.
Sure.
To more one-on-one.
It was fully a projection, and there was no animatronic or practical effect as well.
Sure. Yep.
That is, I think, the A mode.
But
I
still
guess.
cool as hell.
So does it take you into a completely different room, or
That's a great question.
Somehow are you still in the same space, but they, for lack of a better word, just swap out what you normally see and you see something else?
From what I understand, I think they can anticipate for some reason, I don't know how it works, that it's not going to work that time around. And so you're not going to a different room, but they are just switching out the landscape, basically. Yeah. It is so high tech. It's crazy town, but they knew that room was so immersive and highly tech oriented that they needed to have a plan B in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Much like the Navi shaman in Navi River Journey.
Yes.
You know how when that animatronic isn't working, they have a screen that kind of comes down and replaces
really?
the
Oh,
projection.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
They anticipate it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I bet there are some riders who will experience a glitch instead.
Sure.
But they are getting a lot better at anticipating when it's not going to work.
Interesting.
Slows down the ride a bit. Bring the screen down.
Well, since we're in Galaxy's Edge right now, let's stick right there and let's talk about Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Did you have a chance to experience that attraction?
We did. I enjoyed it.
How terse of you, Paul.
I thought it would be a little bit of a letdown because we actually did Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, interesting.
First.
Okay, yep.
And then our Fast Pass for Smuggler's Run was like right after that, I think.
Yeah.
So we were like, I don't know. But I actually quite enjoyed it. And we took the advice of a friend of ours. She said, hold out and ask if you can be the pilot.
Yeah.
So we did that.
I enjoyed the ride, but this one for me, like, so I get.
He was super stressed about this ride.
I was super because the pilot, because all of a sudden, trust me, when there a lady behind you going, shoot, move, do, run, push, pause, fast forward, you're like, you better shut up, lady.
It was the fact that the outcome of the ride was basically riding on us.
Well,
how
I
we
get motion
performed.
sickness is what it was. So into it, like 10 seconds, I'm like, okay, this is one of those rides where you got to get through it. And it was fine until maybe 10 seconds it's about to end. And I'm like, I'm going to push people out of the way because I'm getting sick right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, yay, ride's over. But having said that, it's cool. Like, but even like getting onto the ride, that's different as well. Like everything that you get to see that before you go on the ride and everything you deal with getting onto it. I did have fun, but again, I'd need to take another Dramamine or something before I went on that one again. But like the graphics were amazing. I actually would want to be like the shooter guy, I think the next time.
The gunner.
The gunner. I'd want to be the gunner. Yeah. I mean, they give you, the directions are great and you just need to like, just let whatever is behind you, let that go. But I'd want to be the gunner next time. I'm going to blow some stuff up. That's what I want to do.
I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. I was expecting to be kind of let down, and I also didn't really love the idea of having a role. I just wanted to kind of experience it, but
Right.
I really got into it.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it.
It was fun.
And I loved being on the Millennium Falcon. That was awesome. But I was waiting for the game board to come to life. That was a little bit of a letdown.
That was one of the things that we were kind of promised before the land opened, I think, and they kind of had to cut back on, which is usually the case when they open a large-scale attraction.
Is it really supposed to?
I think it's supposed to have like a little hologram.
That would come, but even come down from like the top would have been cool.
Yeah.
But again, like kids running up to that and everything, maybe they wanted you to focus like getting on the ride instead of like, let's play chess, everybody.
Right. It's
Move
already
along, kids, move along.
I mean, it's already quite the photo op. Like you have to wait your turn to get at that chess table and have a photo taken. So I can imagine if it was holograms, it would be even longer of a wait.
I loved the detail in this attraction as well, actually, because the Millennium Falcon is kind of famous for being the biggest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Is that the line?
Yeah.
And so I was kind of taking in some of the details, and I was noticing how things were sort of like being held together with like chewing gum and spit and a prayer.
Space tape. I think it's space tape is what the technical term.
I was appreciating the fact that it actually looked a little janky because that was very much in line with the movies.
The story of the movie. Yeah.
Guys, I'm done with Star Trek.
I highly doubt that.
I'm sorry.
I highly doubt that.
I mean Star Wars. I
hate your ass right now.
You just wait. Wow, that was a really good vocal.
Your time will come.
But let's move on to a different land.
Yes.
So Pandora's been open for 7 to 8 years now, but you guys have just experienced it.
First time.
Has it really been? It has not. You're
No.
mean.
3 to 4
Patrick.
years. 3 to 4 years.
Well, we've been there a couple times and it's still been in construction, so it feels like it's been that long.
Yeah, it's true. But so you got to experience that for the first time on your trip as well. Talk to us about Pandora.
I did. That was another completely immersive land for us, too. We kind of walked in and jaws hanging open and looking at all the floating rocks and islands above us with the water. And that was another one that we kind of spent a lot of time walking around and savoring and taking in all the details.
For sure. I geeked out on that one as well, just because it's, again, you walk into a land and it's a full on experience. It is like you see the floating islands. It's everything. And the thing is, at night, it's going to be even more dynamic because you look down at the floor and you're like, that's
tell.
gonna light.
Like,
that's gonna be luminescent.
That's gonna glow.
And like, and the beautiful plants and like everything that's going around you sound wise. But even during the daytime, you're like, this is full on. I'm immersed in this land. And that's what I love. Like, that's the experience that you want. And so it's not a letdown by any means.
So did you experience in the day or the night or both?
Both.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
We made a point. I said to Bart, we are coming back here after dark for sure.
And if he hadn't, I would have said something because when we were in line for a while, that this is something that it's going to be totally different. We don't even need to go on a ride per se. You need to come back and just walk through it. Even when you're kind of walking past the land, the lights that are off in the trees, that it looks like it's the fireflies, it's just totally immersive, and it's just so beautiful. But still,
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, everything was gorgeous. But again, you're just like, you've seen the movie and you're like, oh, that's cool. You're in it. You are literally in it. And it's so amazing.
Do you guys find that you've noticed more details at night in the parks? I don't know if it's the way that they strategically light certain elements, but I find that I notice things that I didn't see during the day.
I always say I think you have to experience it both times
Sure.
because I think I see things more detailed in the daytime, like the floating mountains and different just like up close aspects. But at night, it's so beautiful, but there are details that you can't see because it's so dark.
Yeah.
Well, and it's that waterfall, like when you're going through the Flight of Passage.
Yes.
It's awesome during the day. Oh, look at that's cool. But at night, it's just totally different because it's all lit up and it's luminescent and it's a total different experience.
Yeah, I think Pandora finally gives you a reason to be in Animal Kingdom all day long.
Sure.
I will fight you on that, but yes, that is my favorite park, and I could be there all day long.
Bart's favorite.
To be fair, same here,
Yeah.
but I think there is so little to do there, though it is a big land.
Yes. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so little to do there that you could do almost all of it in half a day.
Rushed is the thing.
Yes.
Like this trip, we seriously did all of the little, you want to go see the bat stuff. You
Yep.
want to see the tiger stuff, that's why. So we're going off another tangent here, but I love that park because that's the park that you could walk like, and I always pull Paul by the elbows, like, slow down, because I just enjoy it so much.
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Because of Pandora, I think I now recommend start your day in Pandora, go experience the rest of the park, and then go back to Pandora at night.
100%. Absolutely. Go see The Lion King in between.
Oh.
No, just kidding. Yeah, I do
No,
love that
I
one.
love that show.
Yeah, I do love that show, too. What sound does an elephant make? No, it's the giraffe that everybody screws up on.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, good job, kid. Move on.
Well, you said the magic words Flight of Passage, Bart, so we need to talk about Flight of Passage. Tell me how you felt about experiencing that attraction for the very first time.
I got kind of emotional, actually.
Yeah.
And I can say specifically the moment that it happened. I don't know. Will I be giving away spoilers?
No.
I'll try to keep it sort of vague.
It's been open
for the two people listening who have not been on the
Yeah,
ride.
it's been open long enough.
And to both of you, I say, what are you waiting for?
Well played.
So it's this moment where there's this gigantic wave that looks like it's crashing over you, and the music is swelling, and the animals are making noise. And I teared up. And, I'm not a crier generally, but I got a little choked up.
I will have to say this is my number one ride, like in all the parks that we've ever done. And that one I could go on. Seriously, this one I would seriously like get on it and then go in and stand another hour. And
the queue is makes it
seriously like
you kind of want to hang out and wait a while.
And the thing is, you kind of get shortchanged if you do a fast pass because you don't get to go through all of that other stuff. So I was like, and I was a little, because the second time it was a fast pass. The first time we got in line, we got there early. And I was like, wait, we don't get to see what? Okay. So next time, we're not doing a fast pass. I will stand in
you
line.
bypass a lot of them.
I still have not seen the Na'vi and the tank.
You haven't?
No,
So good.
because
It's really cool.
And in fact, Matthew and I have gone at Park Open thinking that, okay, now we'll be able to like wait in line, but they cut off
kinda
the
circumvent
line.
that, yeah.
So I still haven't seen that room.
Oh,
is
it's
that
cool.
is that a humble brag, Adam, that you've
still
always
haven't-
gotten a fast pass
You guys,
for that ride?
don't treat me any differently, but I haven't seen that room.
Fancy, you're fancy. No, so like all of that, walking through and seeing the lab area where the enclosed where all the computers are and everything. That's just, again, it just elevates it to another level. So, but for me, being the general guy, the funny thing is, Paul's like, you have to stop saying because I'm like, oh, oh, when we're riding the ride, because, and he's like, there are 8-year-olds next to you. Please stop saying that. Their parents are getting mad. But it's so, again, where do you look? Where do you look? And again, I have motion sickness, didn't have any issues because they lock you into, I think that's one of the best things about this ride is they lock you right into that.
They lock you in. They're blowing air on your face, which helps.
Yeah.
And they give you that Navi guide to watch.
Yes. So that's what it is. So the first time we did it, I just a titch of me was like, you're kind of going to start to get sick here. And I immediately like Navi guide, just look right up there and look at that. I thought it was amazing how you put the goggles on and the ride's going to start and the lights blink and that's gone and you're automatically in the land. So yeah, again, I think if I talk too much, I'd get worked up because again, you're immersed in that and I could see it. See, again, I'm going to start crying. You can look anywhere. You can look anywhere and it's going to be different. And that whale, whatever it is, like that thing, I think I said, oh, really loud at that time. But honestly, I wanted a little bit more danger with the main, like that evil, the orange, what do you call it?
The bad banshee.
Yeah, bad banshee. Hey, you bad banshee. I wanted more of that. A little bit more chasing, a little bit more of that, being a little bit more scared.
They kind of set it up like you might.
For sure. Yeah, when she comes out. Yeah,
the woman
lady,
who's the
handsome woman. You're going to cut that?
She's the Sigourney Weaver.
Is it the Banshee?
Yes. I can't even do it. Back it up.
Miss Banshee.
Miss Banshee.
But no, so when we go next year or whenever we go again, yeah, it's going to be a fast pass and it's also going to be, I will stand in line because it's, and I'd actually prefer to do a fast pass during the daytime than stand in line at night.
Sure. Yeah.
It's amazing. Like Patrick, I think you said it best. Start there, end there, and then end at the Tree of Life.
You got me emotional thinking about it. I'm sort of
so
like,
good.
when you land in the cave, when that rose scent comes up,
Yes.
it's so
so
beautiful.
good.
The mist and everything,
Smells so good.
and I didn't realize that, but the breathing under your
you
legs.
can-
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Amazing.
it's breathing. And then the second time we were like, oh my God, you notice it even more. Because I think the first time you're so focused on what's going on, your eyes, but then the second time you're like, this is breathing right now. Okay, I like that. It's like you're on that, and it's just so. But I love that they have you locked in. So anybody out there that does have motion sickness, this is a ride that you don't really have to. Or again, you focus on the guide because then it's that point where you just zero in on. But while you're zeroed in on that, you still see everything else that's
I didn't
going
even
on.
notice the guide.
Same
was
here.
so
I don't even
busy-
know what you're talking about.
I know.
With the
I was
guide.
so busy
Seriously?
looking
Yeah.
at everything else.
No, like she was there the whole time, and I'm so glad that she
Never
was.
noticed.
You guys, Dr. Ogden tells you
There's a
Oh.
in the waiting room that
I
you should
clearly-
Is that her
focus
name?
on your guide.
Dr.
Yeah, Dr.
Ogden.
Ogden.
I do not listen to those.
And thank God I wasn't pregnant at the time because I would have had to hop off that ride right away.
But now might be a different story.
Hello, it was Disney. It's magical.
Yes. You do feel very secure on that ride there,
Yeah.
like overly secure.
Which is perfect. I think that's, again, I'll reiterate, like if you have any kind of motion sickness, that's great because you're not jostling around. I mean, you get that dive feeling and you have all of that, but it's secure. It's not like jostling. So is that the word I want?
Jostling.
It's not Jocelyn Fox.
Yeah, with the 8 kids. No, what's her name?
Ryan Jostling.
Yeah, something like that. Cut.
Goslin. You're thinking of Goslin.
Kate Goslin.
Kate Goslin. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's been
That
two
segued really nice.
2 Drag Race references in the past 5 minutes, and then 1 TLC reference, which is just really strange.
She was on Dancing with the Stars. She was amazingly horrible.
This is the gayest episode of Gays with the D that's ever been.
Are you serious? I
Yes.
love it. Yay!
That's saying a lot.
Really saying something.
That's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot. That's saying
If
a
you
lot.
could see these two, it is saying a lot.
Okay. Can I say something, by the way? Speaking of that.
I wish you would.
Gaze Do the D. When we went to Magic Kingdom, I was wearing my Gaze Do the D t-shirt.
What?
You're welcome.
Where can you get those T-shirts, Paul?
At GDTD.
No, that's wrong.
I don't
Nope.
know.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
You were
We get them
given a
from our
T-shirt, weren't
friends
you?
that are sitting right in front of us.
I've never met
That's
you
the best
before.
thing to do. So if you guys get anybody listening, get on this podcast and just look at these two. Give me a T-shirt.
Wow,
You're
you
done.
have opened Pandora's box.
Come to Minneapolis in December. It's fine.
They're actually available at gazedothed.com.
Thank you, Adam.
It is
You're
.com.
welcome.
That's what I was going to say, and I was second guessing myself.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was wearing one of those, one of your T-shirts.
So comfortable, so flattering.
One of those soft,
heathered texture to the fabric.
It feels good on the skin T-shirts.
Just drapes.
Yeah.
Ever so
Supports
nicely.
your local artists' T-shirts.
You guys are weird.
Yeah.
I was wearing it to the Magic Kingdom, and we went into one of the gift shops, and I saw one of the cast members who was working in the shop was kind of eyeing me a little bit, and I saw the eyes were reading the T-shirt, and I'm looking at pins as I do, and
A lot.
and all of a sudden I hear this voice coming up behind me, and he's saying, "Sir, I just have to say, I saw your T-shirt when you walked in, and I just have to say thank you." And he put his hand up to give me like a high five, and he looked kind of emotional about it. I was very touched.
We walked in and he looked at us right away, and I thought, oh, gay boy looking at some other gay boys. And there were people up at the counter, and he literally left them. I'm not joking. I'm not lying. I'm not making anything up. He left them and came over to us. He's like, he just did his whole thing. And I'm like, it's like 9:00 at night. I'm tired. Can we get the hell out of here?
It was very sweet.
It was sweet. It was.
really
Then he pointed
sweet.
that out, and he said that, and he did recognize the shirt.
That's that Disney level of service, though, when you leave other guests at the counter to come over and comment
Is it?
on someone wearing a gay T-shirt.
Walt's like, where's my cash? You left people at the cash register. I need my cash.
Well, gays do the D, bringing the community
Did you see
together.
the good we do? Did you see the good we do?
This is what we do. We do community service.
So you guys did Flight of Passage. Did you also experience Navi River Journey in Pandora?
We did. Yes. We had a fast pass for that. We went on that, and I gave Bart a heads up on that one as well. I said, this is going to be a very low-key, very relaxing river journey where nothing really happens. So expectations were set accordingly. And I enjoyed it because at that point of the day, I was ready for something sort of relaxing and a little more chill. And it did not disappoint in that regard. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful, but I honestly have to say that because I knew we were going to be on this podcast, and I'm trying to think of, and like, I couldn't remember anything about it. Seriously. And then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, it's the screens, and it's that like the dog like thing that comes through, and I wanted more of him, to be quite honest with you, and it was fine. It was fine, to be quite honest with you. I won't need to do that one again. I got to experience it, and that was it. But when I was trying to, honestly, like, when I was like, okay, we're going to be on the show, and what is that? What was that one? What did we do?
Yeah. He didn't really
Literally,
remember. I had
what
to
did we
describe
do?
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just the screens. Although when you come around the corner and it's the live animatronic, that's pretty cool. Live animatronic. It's the animatronic. That was awesome. But honestly, it was just a nice, relaxing time.
I feel like it's one, if you appreciate the artistry, the Imagineering aspect of it, I feel like it's going to resonate more with that audience because there's a lot to look at. It's beautifully done. But if you're more of a thrill seeker, or you're expecting more of a story or
Basic.
something to happen, you're probably going to be a little disappointed.
Like me.
That's well said. I think it is absolutely beautiful, and what they are achieving artistically is pretpretty outstanding.
Agreed.
But you don't have enough time, I think, to appreciate it. It's so quick.
And maybe if you'd have done that first. No, seriously, like
Yeah,
if we'd have
no.
done that first, it'd have been like, this is awesome, this is great. And then like, but when you do Flight of Passage first, there's like, what are you going to do next? Like everything, no, like, so seriously, like I said, that is my favorite ride in all of the parks so for me, that one was just not, it wasn't the same. We could have started out with that one.
It's almost literally night and day difference, those
sure.
two rides in the
For
same
sure.
in the
Absolutely.
same land.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not really sure what the ride is supposed to accomplish or what we're supposed to take away from it. If anything, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
To keep you in the land,
I'm
seriously,
not sure.
Seriously, another attraction. But like, what would you do for another attraction that would equal Flight of Passage?
as someone who is an Imagineering fan, I appreciate it from that perspective.
I think the purpose of the ride is to give you sort of a day in the life of the Na'vi while you're there, which is like, okay, that's a great historical document then. Well done.
And pause.
Yeah.
And scene.
Well, before we wrap things up here, we have to talk about one thing that Patrick and I have been talking about for a couple of episodes, but most recently in last week's episode.
So highly anticipated conversation.
Yes. So we've talked about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We've talked about Galaxy's Edge. We've talked about Pandora.
Yeah.
So naturally on the list next,
What the people want to know about.
is Tom Sawyer Island.
Yes.
You lie.
In the Magic Kingdom, because as I said, Patrick and I have not experienced it, but you two, this was your first time experiencing it, right?
Well, no, actually.
For me, yes. It was.
Yes, for me, I'd been on it when I was a wee child many decades ago, but
In the 1800s.
yes.
Decades.
Okay.
We're all
Yeah, so we experienced it. I kind of made a point of saying we're going to go over there because we hadn't done it on any of our previous trips as a group. So we checked it out.
And it was fun. It was super fun.
Very fun.
It is just one of those things during the day. Like I was telling Adam, if you have a pass at 1:00 and then another one at 3, this is a great thing to do and go. Like there's caves. Like, so the two of us, being dorks that we are, like we're scaring each other because you literally go in these caves that are very narrow. There's a lot of hiding spaces, but like fun bridges to cross that are totally different, like that move up and down, or it's totally different than what you expect looking at it on just from across the way. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Here's what I appreciated about it. It reminded me of what it was like to go to the Magic Kingdom when I was like 6 or 7. And like you said, the caves and the rope bridges.
It's just a nice change of pace for your day. And it's honestly, it's calming. It's fun, but at that same point in time, it's like just a total different feel. Like
It's very charming.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very charming. And you get some amazing views of the park.
Yeah.
That you don't really get elsewhere.
And then when you're riding the roller coaster, you look across and you're like, oh, I just made an ass of myself doing something over on that long ass bridge that I was trying to knock Paul off of. And because we went to the roller coaster next, what was that roller coaster?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could see everything I was doing right over there, trying to knock Paul off the bridge. Oopsies.
So I recommend it. If you haven't done it, you should go.
Now, in Tom Sawyer fashion, did you whitewash a fence or each other or...
I peed off the side.
See, now that's what I hear. It's a big litter box.
Yeah, well, I had to go.
Okay,
'cause
great.
There's a lot of like water and Diet Coke. Well, this one, there's a lot of Diet Coke every 5 seconds. But yeah, so I was like, nobody coming. Gotta pee.
All right. You
Thank you.
heard it here, folks.
Bathroom was closed. You do what you gotta do.
Pee on Tom Sawyer Island.
There are actually restrooms on Tom Sawyer's Island.
They were
by the
closed.
way.
Whatever.
The entire island is a restroom, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Great.
Don't poop.
That's... Oh, dear.
Well, thank you guys so much for bringing your stories from your trip to Walt Disney World to us. We love hearing when anytime anyone experiences something new or it's new to them anyway. It's really kind of thrilling to kind of relive that experience again.
And let's be clear, in these times, it's great to hear someone's fresh perspective of Disney World, Disneyland, where have you, because we are craving it right now.
We are. I have to say, this was the first time I've gone where when we left, in my mind, I was already planning the next trip. I cannot wait to go back. Usually when I go, when we leave, I'm kind of like Disneyed out. And I don't want to think about it for a little while. And this is the first time that I've ever done it where I'm like, I cannot wait to go back.
Yeah, we'll definitely go every year or try to go every other year. But like it was one of those things where as you get older and you're just one-on-one and it's just you two, like I totally could see us retiring there and just experiencing that all the time.
Along those lines, can I ask you one final question? What is it that keeps you going back to the Disney parks?
Well, the two things that spring to mind are that there's always something new. I mean, that's what I love is that it's constantly evolving. Walt always said it will never be complete. I think he said that about Disneyland, but I mean, I think that holds true of all the Disney parks. So I think that there's always something new to experience, but also it evokes aspects of childhood. When I went when I was young, when my parents took me. So it's a combination of just what's new, what's exciting, but also it's that sort of nostalgic factor that keeps me going back.
I'm going to say that 100%. And again, you'll make me cry, but thank you. Because it was like when he said, to all that come here, all are welcome. Yeah, that's not exactly maybe how he said it. But yes, so that's your childhood. I think, I don't know what percentage would be like when we were kids, we went there. Or you went there as teenagers. So to be able to go there as adults and experience that and remember like the really good things of your childhood, especially as a gay person. Sorry. Like it's magical.
Lean in, my friend. We love you.
So it's like a magical thing.
That's okay.
Whatever you need.
Yep.
It's a time where nobody judges you and like everybody is there for that experience and everybody is there to be part of the magic. And I think you can't beat that.
Well, now you have me crying, sir. This is a mess of an episode.
And that took 10 minutes, everybody. That took 10 minutes for me to get that out. So here it is. Like, so you grew up with that and it's magical to come back to that as an adult and know those memories that you had are special and that you get to experience it again with another level with other people that you love that are your family. So I think that going back is amazing a second time and to do it again and again, there's always something different. Like, what are we going to do this time? What are we going to do this time? And you'll never experience the same way, period. So that's why I get so emotional. So I'm going to start crying again. I'm going to stop.
Everyone is wiping tears out of their eyes, and we all have COVID now. We all have COVID.
Stop touching your face, everybody. This is terrible. Well, this has been a real mistake having you on the show, you guys.
Thank you.
In closing, tell the folks where we can find you guys online.
Pornhub.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. Just kidding.
I can be found on Facebook, Paul Whittemore Roof. Should I spell it?
Yes.
WHITTEMORE hyphen RUF.
That was
Whitmore.
so classy.
Whitmore. Everybody's like, hi, Whitmore Roof. Listen, here's what it is. And for this person who has multiple personalities, hi. So it'd be Bart S. Whittemore Roof. That's too much. I know. I get it. Why do you have that S? Why does it matter? So, and then for all you drag aficionados out there, it's Loring Mitchell. Just pull it up wherever. I'm there. And I'm fabulous.
Sincerely, thank you both. I know, what is sincerely anymore?
Thanks.
We've been crying, we've been laughing, but sincerely, thank you both for being on the pod today. You have brought a breath of fresh air that is much needed, and some tears that are maybe much needed as well.
Some cleansing tears.
Yeah, some cleansing tears. It's been honestly really lovely to talk to you. It's been lovely to see people face to face as well.
Across the room.
Oh, boy.
Hi over there.
Keeping a safe distance.
Social
Adam's
distancing.
in the next house over.
Yes.
Actually, if you want to know the truth, he's not even in the same basement as us.
Adam's in Iowa, actually, right now.
Bye.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Paul.
Hey.
Hey, Bart.
Hello.
I like the hey and the demure hello.
Do you know me?
I thought I did until now.
Paul is the more obnoxious one. Just let you know.
Oh,
What?
disagree.
You're right. You're right.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
It's
What?
time. It's time for Quick D.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. You're so excited. Thank you so much for that. Today, we're doing Quick D, Marry, Kill, Disney Plus, and Chill.
That's correct.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Say more. What?
Well, so marry is you marry the person.
Wow. Yep.
Kill is you off
the
the yeah, you're done with them.
Deep six that person.
Is that you?
Well,
Chances
not
are.
the category is not Patrick today.
Damn it.
But Disney Plus and Chill is when you get very comfy with somebody.
You have relations with them.
Is
You have
this where you
relations.
make whoopee with them?
Oh.
Making whoopee.
Is that Chuck Woolery over there?
Chuck Woolery.
Wow.
Have to be in the butt, Bob. Have
We'll
to be in
be
the butt,
back
Bob.
in 2 and 2. I like it. So, Adam,
Yeah.
why don't you start us out? So, you and I are going to present our categories for Marry, Kill, Disney Plus, and Chill.
Yep, that's right.
So, just 2 categories.
Okay, yeah.
And then the
Because it's taken too long. It's taken we talk too much.
The 3 remaining will answer,
That's correct.
and then we'll continue on.
Yep.
And life will go on as needed.
That's as
Thanks,
needed.
Celine.
That's
Celine Dion of you. How very.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Adam, kick us off with Marry, Kill,
Yep.
Disney Plus, and Chill.
All right, I'm going to go with characters from Star Wars, or as Bart likes to refer to them, characters from Star Trek.
I hate you.
So
Spock is
Yeah.
the first.
Oh, I got an answer for that.
no. So the Star Wars boys that I'm going with, you got to pick one to marry, pick one to kill, pick one to Disney Plus and chill with. I'm going with Kylo Ren or Adam Driver. I'm going with Finn or John Boyega,
Oh, dear.
and I'm going with Poe Dameron or
This
Oscar
is
Isaac.
aggressive.
Bart, do you know who we're talking about?
Yeah, you butthead. Yes, I do.
All right, well, let's start with Paul. Paul, who are you going to marry? Who are you going to kill? Who are you going to Disney Plus and chill with?
Okay. I'm going to marry Poe.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
going to kill Kylo.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to Disney Plus and chill with Finn.
Yeah,
Thank
you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sensible.
Bart?
I am going to kill Poe.
What?
I'm going to
This is
Disney Plus
not-
and chill
Yeah.
Kylo.
Okay.
Oh, so many fantasies.
Oh,
And I am going to marry Finn.
okay.
Why can none of us remember his name?
Oh, I will never ever forget
Oh.
his name.
I see the lips.
Yes.
Big,
Fucking
Delicious.
luscious.
Kiss those lips.
Lips Finn.
And my mind goes blank.
Why would you not want a Disney Plus and chill with like Kylo Ren? That is nasty.
Wow.
Nasty. She will take you to another level.
Wow.
Do you think his penis is shaped like his lightsaber? So there's
thick.
there's like the
long and slender.
there's like the middle shaft part, and there's like 2 tiny penises that shoot
It
off
hits
the
all
other.
the spots.
Yeah.
Does it
And it
hit
goes-
all the spots?
It makes.
Christ, if it makes that sound, we're done. I gotta go. Like, put your pants on.
I've thoroughly embarrassed Patrick. Patrick, what's your answer to my question?
I'm so glad I had my puke bucket next to me. 'Cause I've used it so many times.
Because you looked at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. Well. Oh, wow. Wow. So here's the thing, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry and Disney Plus and chill.
That's not allowed.
With
That's-
Finn,
Aww.
and I'm killing the other 2. Yeah.
They are gonna love hearing.
Poo poo what you need.
Yeah.
But I got mines.
Well,
You got
it's-
nothing.
I guess that's cool if you make up the rules.
Well, I've got a
all on
lot.
your own.
What
It's
about
your
you,
house.
Adam?
It's your house.
What about
I'm going to Disney Plus and chill with Finn for sure.
Yeah.
He is fine.
you?
Oof.
Fine.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm going to kill Kylo and I'm going to marry Poe. so-
Yes.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You're all dumb.
I think I chose correctly.
I
don't
think,
know.
I think you cheated, is what I think.
Thank you.
Well, that's fine.
All right,
I'm
Patrick.
a cheater.
Patrick, take us to your quick D.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm going with I'm going with a Disney Plus and Chill hair story.
Okay.
I need you to Disney Plus and Chill with one of the 3. Ariel, hair story. Merida,
Hair story.
hair story.
Gingers.
Gingers, yeah.
Well, those are 2 gingers. Yeah, you're right.
And then
Rapunzel.
Yeah, of course.
Hair story.
Yeah.
There's always a blonde.
Yeah.
Paul, why don't you kick us off?
God, again? Okay. Ariel, Merida, and
Rapunzel.
Punzi.
Yep. I'm going to marry Merida because she seems like she'd be handy in a crisis.
She can fix a lamp for you for sure.
faux
if you need,
show.
If you need a lamp fixed.
Yep. She can shoot a good bow and arrow.
That's not a euphemism.
Should you need that?
Real.
Yep. So I'm going to marry her and I'm going to kill. Oh, man. I have to kill one of them?
Yes.
Lord. Okay. I'm going to kill. I'm sorry, but it's got to be Ariel.
Not by drowning, because she's already,
Yep.
Fair.
Yep.
That's fair.
you know.
We'll have to figure out some other method. But
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to kill Ariel. I don't want to,
Wow.
but apparently I have to, according to the rules of this game. And then by process of elimination, I'm going to Disney Plus and chill with Rapunzel. I'm just going to comb her hair while we watch.
Well, she can tie you up and down with her hair, so it's great.
Absolutely.
What about you, Bart?
I'm going to kill myself.
No,
Wow.
come on.
Wow.
Come on.
They're girls. Come on.
No, feel the fantasy.
Okay, I will marry Ariel. Who are the other two?
Rapunzel.
Merida.
Oh, Rapunzel I'll kill.
Oh no.
Yeah. I would Disney Plus and chill like with Merida because she's like handy.
She seems wild.
She's wild. She got that red hair.
Yeah,
I
okay.
married a redhead. Hello, are you out of your mind? Maybe I should marry her as well. Oops, sorry. Just kidding. So no, gonna keep it.
You got very backwoods in your answers.
Backwoods? Are you calling me country?
Nope.
Easy.
I'm calling you backwoods.
Careful.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll cut you.
I liked your answers though. They were incorrect. Adam, moving on to you.
I'm going to marry Ariel because I want her family's wealth
Oh,
and palaces and whatnot.
can you breathe under the water?
Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Did you see the end of the movie, Patrick?
you're right. King Triton can do anything. Plus, you have that daddy fantasy.
Well,
Okay.
wouldn't that be nice?
Grapes.
So I'm going to marry Ariel. I'm going to kill Merida.
What?
Rude.
Yeah.
Why?
She doesn't do it for me. Have a better movie.
You're a ginger.
Yeah.
Hello.
You burnt.
I've only seen it once. I need to see it again. Sorry for all of you.
I
brave
will
fans
say
out there.
it's probably the least memorable of the three films.
And then I'm going to Disney Plus and chill Rapunzel.
Okay.
Too much hair.
That's a good answer. Why Disney Plus and chill with Rapunzel?
I believe there was a lot she learned in that tower during her time in isolation. I think she knows how to.
Something with your hair.
Yeah. She knows how to. Get it done.
Oh, wow.
Take
Patrick.
two. Take two.
Patrick, save me, please.
I can't.
What are your options?
I would say I would Disney Plus and chill. I'm going to start with that, as I always do.
Sure.
With Merida.
No need to explain that.
Yeah.
With Merida.
Merida knows
See,
how to
I told
get
you.
down and into it.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In bear form or in human form?
Ooh.
Merida was never a bear.
Wasn't
Her
she?
mother was a bear.
Oh.
I will punch you right in the face.
See, I need to see the movie again.
Okay.
I thought they both turned into bears.
Flick
Nope.
you in the throat.
How do I know that and you don't?
Wow.
Tables have turned.
And who doesn't like a good tartan plaid? I mean, come on.
Come on.
But that's what turns me on.
Are you gay?
A good tartan plaid.
Gay?
That's the reason.
I'm going to marry Rapunzel
Okay.
because that gets me closer to Flynn Rider.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to have an affair with Flynn Rider. And
Okay.
clearly I'm killing Ariel.
Has he seen you?
Rude. Rude, yet accurate. But I'm killing Ariel because I can't swim. That's it. That's my answer. Flynn Rider is the only reason to have this conversation.
Poor Flynn.
That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast, and submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See you real soon.